Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of the Cancel for Maintenance podcast. If this is your first time joining us, we're a show that takes a behind-the-scenes look into the gritty, non-glamorous life of aircraft maintenance. We share some laughs, impart some wisdom, all in hopes of giving you that split seconds relief in your day that can hopefully prevent a mishap. I am your co-host, Six, and I am going to be soloing it today as MVP and Charlene are off doing other things, more focused and more in demand of their attention. I'd like to address a topic that's been incredibly relevant, especially now. And it's another reason why we have been very limited as far as our episodes have been concerned. And that involves the recent event of things, all these changing in regulations and whatnot, and how we can just take control of these uncertain times. With everything that's happening in aviation today, it's easy to feel overwhelmed. But in this episode, we're going to discuss some tips on how to help you focus on what you can control, some resources for support, and other ways that you can lend your experiences to help other people. So let's just jump right in and acknowledge the current state of things with aviation today. We're very well aware of the challenges we're facing: flight delays, staffing shortages, changing regulations, uptick in incidences. It's all over the place. And while there's many other entities out there that have covered this stuff on a 24-hour cycle and have lent their 2 to 5 cents on the matter, these issues can create like this sense of helplessness. And believe us, like, we would love to have spoken out about it, but we'll be just adding to that anxiety. So we just want to take this moment to pause and just let everyone know that while it's crucial that these be kept in our state of awareness, it is likewise crucial to remember that while we might not be in control of these external circumstances, we can control how we respond to them. Having a sense of control, often referred to as a locus of control, is vital for our mental well-being. We recognize that we can influence, and it empowers us to take positive actions instead of succumbing to the stress and anxiety. So what can we do? What are some realistic, actionable tips that we can use to help us direct our focus towards the things that we can control, right? First things first is identify your sphere of influence. And we've spoken about stuff like this all throughout our various episodes. And what that means is, like, take a moment to list out or understand the things that are currently bothering you, and then identify the items that you can directly influence. This will help you pinpoint where to channel your energy most effectively. Example for aircraft mechanics are like safety standards. We play a crucial role in ensuring that all the maintenance and repairs meet safety requirements. So our attention to detail and adherence to these protocols directly impact the safety of the aircraft and the people with it. Operational efficiency is another one. We perform our regular maintenance and timely repairs. We can influence the operational efficiency of the company or the entity or the organization that we're working with. And then well-maintained planes are less likely to experience unexpected issues like breakdowns or things not working like they're supposed to. This leads to more reliable schedules. Another thing to consider, say, is environmental impact. Our environmental footprint in aviation by implementing practices such as clean as we go, or dumping the hazmat appropriately, or not letting it sit out in the open for who knows how long. Like, it's small, but these little choices can contribute to the overall impact of the things that we can actually control. The next step would be to set small, achievable goals. Now, this is something that we ourselves are having a constant time trying to find this, because we all just want to see the big picture. We want to handle it all in one shot because just how we are. We want to have the problem and the solution. But sometimes the solution is so long and outstretched that we tend to lose ourselves in the process from getting from the start to the finish. So breaking these up into smaller chunks or easier to attain goals, it makes it much easier for us to keep track, for one, and then completing these minor tasks can give us a sense of accomplishment and control. And this helps us like keep our motivation and our spirits up. An example is like, say, their daily maintenance checklists. It's very mundane. I get it. It's very tedious. But instead of aiming to complete an entire inspection in one shot, you can set a small goal, like finish one section of the checklist at a time. Or I'm going to do this inspection, and then I'm going to take a break and then do this inspection if time allows. Okay, I'm going to preface that, if time allows. But having like small tasks and just kind of seeing it as just by the numbers, it helps you stay organized and motivated to ensure that things get done. Another example, which kind of goes from the long start to finish, is skill development. Rather than trying to master all aspects at once, set little milestones for yourself. Like each week, like this week, I'm going to get this many sign-offs, or this week, I'm going to finish this many courses. This week, I'm going to listen to a few lectures, whatever the case may be. This not only makes learning more manageable, but it also provides a clear path for advancing your expertise over time. Because if you're just seeing the end goal as I'm going to get certified in this, and this takes about 60 plus steps, trying to get all six, if you just see it as 60, it's never going to get done. Or it's going to feel more unachievable if you just see it as the whole number. So breaking this up gives you a little bit more motivation to finish. An example in my case is with college. I'm sure a lot of people out there have felt this. When they see 120 credits for a degree, for instance, then they just see, holy heck, this is going to take me about 4+ years. But instead of seeing it as the full 4 years or the 420 credits, you can just see it in the sense like, I just want to get this many credits this semester, or I just want to get this many done this year. And yes, it's slow. Yes, it's mundane. And yes, it can actually hit you financially. But seeing this as these little milestones to hit, ounces turn into pounds, grams turn into kilos, and so on and so forth. They add up over time. And eventually, once you get to the end, you're not going to remember how long it took or how many steps you had to take. You just see yourself there and realize how fast time actually flew by. Another helpful practice is mindfulness. Engaging activities like deep breathing, meditation, some personal, emotional, or grounding techniques can actually help and keep you grounded in the present and reducing your anxiety about things that are well outside of your control. For aircraft mechanics, for instance, is having a pre-inspection routine. Just like how we inspect the plane or have a plan to inspect the plane, let's do the same for ourselves, right? Take a few moments, practice a deep breath, reflect on something, have an idea in your mind of like just puts you in your place, not put you in your place, but puts you in the right mindset. Because if you just go in there with a cloud over your head, that cloud's gonna stay there. I'm just saying, right? But put yourself in a mindset that helps you focus on the task at hand and reduce the risk of overlooking certain things. Listen to our podcast, listen to us joke and laugh about Pokemon or something dumb like that. Whatever it takes, or put on your favorite music and just jam to it for like 2 minutes. The pre-game, pre-inspection, as you would say. Another example is stress management during busy periods, right? During peak times, we face increased workloads and stress. So engaging in like short mindfulness exercise, such as the quick meditation session, similar to the pre-inspection routine, this can help manage the stress, maintain some clarity, and enhance the problem-solving abilities that we absolutely need when working on planes. Another example is like enhanced focus during troubleshooting. When you're diagnosing a problem, we can benefit from taking a step back and just kind of reflect a little bit, because there are many times issues come up and it's that knee-jerk reaction, like, okay, this happened, I have to do this. And then we run into issues like loading the parts shotgun, as a lot of us call it, where we just throw random parts or throw random fixes to hope that it works. And then after exhausting so many different elements, we find out the fix was you just forgot to turn something on, or you forgot to put something, plug something in, and you just wasted all that effort. And now we can argue back and forth that that's terrible troubleshooting, but it happens, especially when outside stressors are forcing you to think on the spot. So taking a step back and reflecting on what's going on can really add some clarity to what's happening and actually help you adjust your resources to where you actually need it. Give you a fresh perspective, so to say. And this also reduces the frustration and allowing a more systematic and effective approach to the actual issue at hand. It's also very important to stay informed, but limit your exposure to the news. I know nowadays it's especially hard because news and online presences, social media accounts and all that are just throwing it in your face. It's near impossible to escape it, but it's also possible to kind of just limit that, right? It's essential to be updated on the news, especially when it comes to aviation news, but consuming too much can really increase your stress levels. Us included, full disclosure, us included, because there's a lot of things happening right now with aviation that directly affect our lives. How we conduct business, how we take care of our families, how we go about our days at work, so on and so forth. But if we just keep with it, if we keep trying to doom scroll our way through to find some bit of security, you're going to find that you'll find more reasons to be anxious than it is for you to be secure. So set specific times to check updates and stick to just that and avoid the doom scroll. Examples, you can stay informed for regulatory changes, right? Just have like alerts or something that just tells you what sort of stuff directly apply to your place of business or your areas of operation. Like staying informed with regulations from the FAA or EASA or any other civil authority that you specifically work with regarding safety regs and maintenance requirements. But limit that time spent to specific intervals during the week. Say like you only check it on a Wednesday or on a Friday, or on the days when it just it's relevant enough for you to make a change, but not so in your face that it carries on into the weekend. I'm calling myself on that because I've totally done this. Another one is like monitor any technological advancements, keeping aligned and aware of any new and emerging technologies that can enhance our time and our abilities as mechanics. I just saw the other day that they had this one torque wrench that it's programmed to it's Bluetooth to a computer, and this computer has all the maintenance specs already preloaded on it. So you don't even have to set the wrench. You just take the wrench, scan the work order code, and it knows exactly what the torque specs need to be for that particular job. It's insane. It's wild. And this thing is made out of carbon fiber too. So it's like, I don't know, like 15 pounds. And this goes up to about 300 Newton meters as far as like the total torque force. It's light as shit. It feels like a fishing rod more than the torque wrench. But these are some of the things that are emerging and coming out in life. Will you see it in your areas? Maybe not, but it's there. And who knows when these things are coming about, right? So set aside some time to dedicate at least sometime in the week to review these new emerging technologies, these tech journals or online resources, rather than constantly check for updates throughout the day. I know this is hard. Believe me, I know it's hard. But if you just give it its one day, then that kind of sets the tone as far as priorities for yourself is concerned. And then another one is following industry trends. Stay updated on what's going on, such as shifts towards more sustainable technologies, advancement in career growth, and so forth. This kind of goes back to the previous two, but just being able to limit the amount you consume on a day to maybe a few times a week. Again, this is hard. This is something that we ourselves are struggling with, especially because how much it's thrown in our face. But giving it at least 1 day a week or 2 days, however much it actually updates. So keep that balance between being informed and managing your stress. Because again, we tend to fall into the doom scroll of like trying to find that sense of security or that solid ground, which sometimes it's not until you hit rock bottom. And lastly, as far as tips is concerned, is staying engaged with your community, right? Reach out to fellow aviation enthusiasts. Heck, there's so many different social media accounts that are specifically geared to aviation. We're one of them. There's others like Stig Aviation, Fixed Flight Travel, Airplane Facts with Max, Total Aviation. I think I said that already. Only Fan Cal, and all these others that just help you understand what's going on, and you can actually share your experiences. Right? Sharing this can provide some comfort, some camaraderie, and remind that you're not alone in facing these issues, right? And besides just following social media accounts like us, for instance, or the others I've previously mentioned, there's local aviation clubs or local aviation organizations in your area where you can share your knowledge and experience, participate in meetings or events. It can help you build that network, both personally and professionally, which can help you in the long run. I've mentioned this in a previous episode where networking can be the key to you getting your next career path. And there's all sorts of ones like RC aircraft or aircraft mechanics organizations or something like that, right? Unions too, but once you go with unions, there's people who have a little bit of abrasion towards unions, and you can freely choose to do that if you want to. But I would lean more towards something that's a little bit more recreational, so you're not obligated to do anything outside of what you want to do. Another one is participate in online forums or social media groups. Just like how I said about following social media accounts, there's actual social media groups that you can participate with, right? That are dedicated to mechanics or pilots or whatever the case may be, and engage in discussions, ask questions, and share your insights that can foster connections with each other. Granted, some of these groups, especially on Reddit, it tends to be more of a bitch fest than actual help. But you decide for yourself which one's more helpful for you. Whether if you just want a group where you can vent your frustrations, or if you want a group that's more towards a specific problem, like becoming an aircraft mechanic or becoming an engineer or some type of career progression, whatever the case may be. If you can think it, there's a group for it. I can almost guarantee that. So whatever you need or what's more catered to the question at hand, there's definitely a group for it. But I highly stress to participate in some of those groups, or at least follow it and see what happens. And once in a while, you'll have that nugget of information that's just exactly what you need. And then finally is attend aviation expos and trade shows. Like these areas, yes, there's a bit of a gatekeep price to get into it. Some of them are way more expensive than others, but we can attest from our own selves visiting these trade shows that there's a mountain of knowledge and information happening there. You can meet other professionals in the field, and these events often feature workshops, networking opportunities, or say, for instance, like the aircraft maintenance competition, you actually see other mechanics like doing jobs that you may have never seen before, or you're seeing aspects of the aviation maintenance community that you weren't fully aware of at the time, especially if you're still a student or aspiring to be a student to become an aircraft mechanic, right? This helps you not only enhance the skills that you have, but forge valuable relationships with peers and future bosses. Now, if you're looking for resources to help you manage stress and anxiety, there's many places you can turn to. I mean, let's face it, there are times when we just feel so drained from the day that we don't want to try to fix it ourselves. Or you just feel like, or it could be vice versa, you feel like you have to fix it yourself, but you're spinning wheels in the mud. You have nowhere to go. There's so many resources out there. There's so many different advocacy groups and nonprofit organizations that are specifically made to help you with that issue. One example is therapy. That's th.air.apy. And it's and you can find them also at gettherapy.org. It's a nonprofit organization that helps you with a current issue that you're experiencing mental health wise. Because we do tend to run out of gas from time to time, even though we'd rather not admit it. It happens. Another one is the Aviation Therapist on Instagram and their website on flightdeckcommunity.com. Fantastic resource, awesome group of people, and they can help you figure out solutions that are specifically tailored to you. And these platforms offer online therapy options, making your mental health care more accessible, right? Maybe not specifically mental health, but maybe you just need some type of coaching or mentoring to help you realize that you have the solution. You just need a means of how to go about it. Once again, there's therapy at gettherapy.org, and then there's the Aviation Therapist on Instagram, and likewise the website at flightdeckcommunity.com. So before we end this all, I kind of want to stress that your voice matters more than ever. In these uncertain times, the aviation community has a unique opportunity to advocate for change and improvement within our industry. And your voice is actually the first step in the matter. So having your voice means you can influence others. You can advocate for best practices, and you can even spark discussions that can lead into these innovations. Remember that every significant change starts with somebody speaking up, right? So how can you exercise your voice? Well, here's a few suggestions. One, you can join online communities and forums. I think I said that before, like social media groups or startup or online forums. You can share some stuff on social media, whichever the case is easiest for you. It's free, and it's the easiest way to put your voice out there. Next is consider participating in a webinar. Now, mind you, webinars are a little bit more on the professional side, and you might have to do some kind of presentation or whatever the case may be. But engaging in webinars that focus on trends or current challenges, or if they just want voice of people on the ground, for instance, this will not only enhance your knowledge, but also allow you to interact with other experts, fellow enthusiasts, and this can actually help you network with people who can actually make a change. Another effective way to make an impact is share your story. Just flat out share your story. No matter how insignificant or how run-of-the-mill common it is, everyone has their own unique thing. There's only one of you, even though the thing you do is dime a dozen. How you experience it and how you get across finding solutions is uniquely you. Consider recounting your personal experiences related to aviation, right? What did you go through that's different from the next person? What unique challenges did you face, and what unique solutions that you had to find to help you through it? And these you can share in a whole slew of ways. Like I said, with online forums and webinars. Start a blog post, for instance, which go on a podcast even. Start your own podcast even. Authentic stories resonate and it inspires people. You guys listen to us. I mean, we try to be universal in some of our stories, but you can tell like some of these are like, okay, this stuff only happens here. But share it. It's how we inspire or influence other people. That sounds like a terrible word, influence. Anyways, this is how we help people find their own voice, or at least find the ground they can stand on to share their voice as well. And then lastly, hey, advocate for a change. If you notice something in the industry or in your areas or in your organization or even amongst your team that needs addressing, don't hold back. Say something. Whether it's writing articles, engaging with people, telling your boss what's up, telling your lead what's up, or just sharing or a shot across the bow email. The worst case scenario, you call your freaking representative or whatever, whichever it is. Simply sharing your concern with people involved, including your peers. Every voice counts and every voice matters. So in closing, I want to remind everybody that while we face many challenges beyond our control, we have the power to influence our responses and advocate for our community. By focusing on what we can control, seeking support, and exercising our voices, we can navigate these turbulent times with some resilience. Hey, let us know what you guys think. What sort of challenges have you uniquely faced? What sort of tips have you used that could help? And what are different ways that you can be involved in helping to maintain some level of control amidst all the uncontrollable things in our areas? Let us know in the comments. Let us know on our social media. You can email us on our website. Whichever is the easiest way for you. The absolute best way to get a hold of us and have conversations like this is through our Discord channel via Patreon. We appreciate all our patrons who support us, help making this show the way that it is, and also lending us insights into the different aspects of aviation that we can all utilize and grow together. Thank you guys again for tuning into this episode. If you found this helpful, please share it with somebody who might benefit from this, maybe have some encouragement. And don't forget to subscribe on the various podcast platforms. We do have a YouTube channel, sort of. We are working to figure out how to do videos on this. So if you have videos, please, and you feel willing to share with us, please do so. We can throw this into our YouTube thing, so it's not just a sound wave file for 1.5 hours plus. Join us next time as we explore more insights and stories on the aviation world. Until next time, everybody, thank you all for your support. Have a good one. We'd like to take a moment to give a heartfelt shout out to our fantastic patrons. Your unwavering support is the magic behind the show, helping us produce thrilling episodes, keep our gear in top shape, and create awesome merch just for you. With special shout outs goes to SaKonna, Eric Shaw, Daniel Liang, Mike Sherwood, Caleb Stockdale, Carm M, Dan Schubert, and Ryan Freshour. Thank you all so much for your support and patronage. If you enjoy our show, why not join our Patreon family? You'll unlock a whole slew of perks, including exclusive access to our private Discord community, special discounts, early bird access to our merch, and a front row seat to sneak peeks of our comics and other exciting projects. And if you're feeling adventurous, don't forget to strut your stuff as an aviation aficionado by visiting our store at cancelformaintenance.com. For those who appreciate a touch of class or rugged charm, check out our affiliate Rockwell Time at rockwelltime.com. Use the code CX, 4, MX, snag a sweet 10% off your new favorite watch. It's time to elevate your game. Got a burning topic idea or want to be a guest on our show? Drop us a line on the contact us section of our website, cancelformaintenance.com. We're all ears, and we're eager to bring your ideas to life. Stay connected with us on social media. Find us on Facebook at Cancel for Maintenance, or follow us on Instagram and Threads at Canx, CANX, Fort Maintenance Podcast. Hey, we love hearing from you. Be sure to check out our comics. We might just be the only webcomic focused on aircraft mechanics available on the Tapas app. Like, share, subscribe, and leave us your thoughts. We want to know what you all think. Thank you all for being the incredible community that you are. Your support means the absolute world to us, and we can't wait to catch you on the next episode. Until then, keep them flying.